What's going on, you guys? It's your man James, aka JP, back again with another toy room review, and today we're taking a look at Wave 3 of Avatar The Last Airbender Funko Pops. Now, as you can see, we have all of them here with the exception of two. I am missing the Amazon exclusive version of the Floating Aang that does glow in the dark. I have him pre-ordered. He's just not going to ship out yet for like about another 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm also missing the Hot Topic exclusive Sokka with his war paint. I also have that one pre-ordered, and it's just not going to ship out for about another 2 to 3 weeks, but I will do follow-up videos on those guys. But here is everybody from the main wave along with the Entertainment Earth exclusive Kyoshi figures. So let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. I'll just one of them, and I'll go ahead and do Kyoshi since she has some special stuff on her, but other than that, the packaging is going to be all the same for all of them. So as you can see, because this is an Entertainment Earth exclusive, you have that sticker right there as well as glow in the dark, but other than that, it's going to be your standard Avatar packaging here. So you have the Avatar logo up here with all the 4 nations kind of in the background right there. You can see a little bit better look at that right there, and coming to the back you can see obviously all the other ones from this wave, which are right here that we'll take a look at in a second. Kyoshi on the side, you know, pretty standard stuff from Funko, but I do really like this exclusive sticker right there. Anyways, so let's go ahead and get all of these out of the packaging and take a closer detailed look at them. I cannot wait. I am so excited to finally have some more Avatar The Last Airbender pops. Alright, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, you guys, and here are all of the pops out of the packaging, and man, this is a really great looking wave. Such a diverse cast of characters from all different elements, no pun intended, just all different costumes, different scenarios from the show. I really love this wave in its entirety. So let's just go ahead. We'll start from left to right and then front to back. So we're going to start with none other than Momo, and this is of course Momo in his kind of samurai attire, and this is from when Aang was hallucinating, and this is kind of a 2-part pop because he does pair along with that Appa, which is from the same scene in the show. But man, this just looks absolutely amazing. Just Momo looks just so good with his little angry pose right here. He is missing the mouth that he did have in the show, so that would have been kind of nice to see. I remember this version of Momo actually talking a lot, so that was a really funny hallucination scene. But I love the bun that he has. His I want to say hair, but I guess technically fur tied up in a bun there, so that looks really nice. And then you have I'm gonna say this is a kimono if I'm not mistaken, and this looks really good. I love the way that they made it look like it's actually blowing in the wind, and it's kind of hard to see, but you do have some logos right there. Let me see if I can zoom into it for you guys. There you go. You can see some of those logo details right over there, and then you do have that on the back as well. And then what's interesting, as we see his sword over here, what's interesting is he does have a base, but not in a traditional sense. So it's a non-removable base, and the base is actually ported into his back, which is interesting. I've never seen any other pop kind of do that before, so I'm not sure why they went that route with this, but either way it works. It looks good, and you don't have to worry about accidentally losing the base, which is really nice. So there you go. There is Momo. So we'll take Momo to the side and bring in Kyoshi. Now this is Kyoshi kind of in her spirit form. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. So she is an Entertainment Earth exclusive, and she does glow in the dark, and the glow on her is actually really nice, which we'll take a look at in a second. But all the details on here are really nice as well. I love how even though it is glow in the dark, they have different shades of like translucent plastic on here, which is really cool. So up here on like her headpiece, you have a really light blue translucent plastic, and in the middle right here, it's interesting. It kind of feels like sandpaper almost, and it's a different texture, but that looks really nice. And you can see kind of like my finger a little bit behind here, so it's like slightly translucent. But then as we come down to the face, you have different shades of translucent. It's actually pretty crazy to see in person. You have like a lighter shade of blue here, but then as we get to the corners here, you have kind of a darker shade, and I love the way that they did the face paint right there with that lighter blue. I think that looks really nice. And you do have the little side pieces for the headpiece, which are done in a translucent blue as well. And then you come to the back here, and it is just painted in blue, but it looks really nice, along with that ponytail strap right down there. And then coming down to the fans, as I just dropped the stand, which we'll pick up in a second. She does come with a stand or a base, which we'll take a look at in a second once I pick it up. But all the fans and everything look really good, and like I said, just different shades. You can see you have the lighter blue here with the darker blue on the armor, and the way that they just made all of that work pretty seamlessly, it just looks really nice. It's kind of hard to see the details right there on the back piece, but man, this is a really great looking figure. And let me go ahead and pick the base up. Okay, so here is the base. It is just clear. It would have been really cool if they could have made the base a translucent glow in the dark plastic as well. I think that would have just been really cool, but you can see the base just ports in right over here, and she's the only figure out of this whole set that actually has like a separate base. She doesn't necessarily need it though, because she does stand up pretty fine on her own. She is a little wobbly, but as you can see, like, she'll stand up just fine. But if you do want that extra assurance, then you can go ahead and plug in the base. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut off all the lights and show you guys exactly what this glow looks like as we angle the camera towards her. And then I also will take a picture with my phone to give you guys a better example of that glow, because my phone does better in low light than this camera does. But let's go ahead and cut off all the lights. Wow, the glow on this is absolutely stunning. And when I tell you guys that my main camera is not doing it any justice, like, I'm looking at that glow directly head on in person with my eyes, and this thing just absolutely just glows like crazy. And it has different levels of glow, different shades of glow, so you have different details. Like I mentioned, some of the translucent plastic on here is darker than the other, and that actually translates into the glow as well. So I'm gonna put a picture now that I'm taking with my phone, so hopefully you guys can see a better way of how that looks. But man, this is a stunning, this is probably one of the best, if not the best, glowing figure that I have in my collection from Funko. Absolutely knocked it out of the park with this. Wow, I mean, this figure, just seeing that glow, this might have now become my favorite figure from this wave. I still don't know yet. I'll rank them all at the end, but that glow is just absolutely impressive. So let's go ahead and kind of bring the camera back up, and that should be okay right about there. So putting Kyoshi back, we're going to take a look at Aang, and this is the Floating Aang with his air scooter. So this is a little bit different than the air scooter Aang we've gotten before. The air scooter Aang we got before, he was actually like on the air scooter. This is kind of Aang once the air scooter, the air is kind of coming out of the scooter and the ball is starting to deflate, as you can see here. So he's not necessarily riding on top of the scooter, more like holding on for dear life, which is really, really cute and really awesome. Other than that, it's pretty standard to what we've seen. It's kind of similar to the air scooter Aang that we've gotten before. You can see you have his clothing kind of blowing in the wind right there, which is a feature that they had on the other ones as well. And he has this kind of happy expression, nothing too crazy there. This figure honestly is pretty standard. And you can see this ports into his back, and then that's how you make him float with the clear stand right here. So honestly, nothing really too different from what we've seen before. So I'm not going to spend too much time on Aang, but it's still really nice and really fun to have. And like I mentioned, there's an Amazon exclusive that is exactly the same, just glows in the dark. I think the air bubble glows as well as his tattoos, and maybe his eyes glow in the dark. So pretty much identical to the past air scooter Aang that had the same exact variants, one regular one and one that glows in the dark. So anyways, that is Aang. We'll put Aang back, and now we'll take a look at Azula. Now this figure, honestly, or this pop, this figure, whatever you want to call it, this one is crazy. So it is super heavy. You can see her hair is just like, is massive and absolutely insane. Just a lot, I wouldn't say detail, but just a lot of sculpted work in the hair right here. So that looks really, really good. And when I tell you that this is a really, really heavy figure, when you pick it up, you don't expect it to be as heavy as it is. It is really, really heavy. And what's really nice about this is she doesn't require a base. She stands up just fine, and that's because they actually incorporated a built-in stand into the lighting effects right here. So you can see it kind of flattens out towards the bottom here, and it actually uses those two pieces right there to support her, which is really cool. Her lightning effects are, other than that, just okay. Nothing really too crazy with it. They're just all right. Nothing like too special. But this is obviously in the final battle with her, Katara, and Zuko. This is kind of when Azula is sort of unhinged and starting to go crazy, and her hair comes apart, and she's just like absolutely lost it. I think that's what this reference is from. But other than that, I mean, it's the same armor we've seen before on her. It's kind of hard to see the details because they are being blocked by her lightning effects. But either way, still really, really nice. Not as angry of an expression as I would like, especially at this state that she's in towards that episode. But, you know, either way, still really, really cool. And you can see a really good detail there on her Fire Nation outfit. So, yeah, I think the hair is probably the craziest piece. It looks the simplest, but when you actually hold this, it's a really heavy Funko Pop. So that's crazy. And like I said, I do like that built-in stand feature. So we'll put her back. And now I'm probably going to have to back the camera up because we're going to bring in Appa here. Let me see if he fits in the frame. He does not. So let me back the camera up just a little bit and see if that's a little bit better. Yeah, that works okay. So here is Appa. And this is from that same scene where Aang was hallucinating that Momo was a samurai ninja. Well, here is Appa also in kind of a samurai, but it's like an armored samurai outfit, and he's done in like Fire Nation armor. And this thing, surprisingly, honestly, he only weighs slightly a little bit more than this figure here, which is crazy because how much bigger he is. But yeah, this one just feels more hefty because it's so small, where this one, it's big. You expect it to kind of be heavy. So yeah, either way, the detail on here is great. You can see Appa holding his 3 swords here, so 1 in each hand here, and holding 1 with 2 arms here. And then you have some great detailing right there. I like this little touch of green for like samurai war paint. I think that's really cool. And other than that, it is kind of basic just as far as the armor goes. It's browns and reds, but you do have some nice shading right here, as well as all these little details in here in the armor. So this is just a really fun, really unique piece, and I'm really happy to have that. I'm so glad that they referenced this scene because it was just such an awesome scene from the show. And here's the top here. So the horns are not really all that pointy, but I like how the arrow is kind of like 3D almost and kind of coming out right there. Would have been nice to see the arrow kind of continue on throughout, but either way, yeah, this looks really good. I'm a really big fan of this Appa, and I like how you can see him wearing his little like sandals right here with his toes sticking out. Yeah, really big fan of this. So there you go. There is Samurai Appa, and now I'm going to put him back and move the camera back to about there. I think that's where it was more or less. And now we're going to bring in King Bumi. Now this is an awesome figure, but I do have one really big problem with it. Funko considers this a deluxe figure, and honestly I don't feel like it's big enough to consider it a deluxe figure. I understand why they did it because he does come with the included throne or chair right here, but to be honest, like, what's the difference between, let's say, this one and Uncle Iroh here, when Iroh comes with this giant flame effect on the back? Like, I'm not really seeing much of a difference. Like, they both are standard size figures and they both come with, you know, deluxe effects, but Iroh is considered and priced as a regular Funko Pop, where this King Bumi is priced and considered a deluxe pop, comes in a deluxe box, and they charge you like 30 bucks for it. But honestly, I don't think it's really worth it. I think this should just be considered a regular pop because I don't think this is nowhere near as big or deluxe enough to be considered a deluxe. Anyways, that's just a mini rant. Either way, I still really love this version of King Bumi. So this is where you kind of have old man Bumi. I think the Bumi that we got before was him with the shirt off and all muscled up with earthbending effects, but this is old King Bumi just sitting in the chair with his clothes on and everything like that, and his little eye twitch, which is awesome, and all of his liver spots and his crown right here, which I don't believe we got the crown before, so that's a new detail, and that is really nice to see. And then here you go, you can see all his different rings, or his geminite, I think as they called it in the show, which is rock candy, and I love all the little wrinkles and everything sculpted throughout. Now, like I went on that rant earlier saying that, you know, this is the deluxe piece right here, this little chair piece. I am very disappointed with it. It is very cheap feeling, very hollow feeling, and it just feels like cheap plastic. You do have the Earth Kingdom logo right there, but other than that, like, you can even hear while handling this. Yeah, it's just cheap hollow plastic, especially this section right here. It's only really solid when you get to this section right here, and I think that's because the figure is kind of like screwed into it. But yeah, this just, the base itself, it just feels very cheap. It doesn't feel like a deluxe figure, and I would have been more happy with this as just a regular figure. But that being said, sculpted little eyebrow here, I think that's like our forehead wrinkles, not eyebrows, but forehead wrinkles. I think that's a nice touch, and that's actually like molded in there, like it's actually indented where you can like run your fingers through and feel the groove. So really nice touches. It looks great. I just don't think it should be a deluxe figure. Anyways, moving on to the final figure, that is going to be Uncle Iroh, and like I mentioned, he is just a regular figure, comes in a regular box and is priced as a regular figure, but I mean, this thing is just epic. So obviously you have him doing his little fire effects right here, fire bending poses, and then you have the fire effects all throughout here with the blue flames, but I'm a little confused. Is it supposed to be blue flames or is it supposed to be lightning? Because he never really shot out blue flames, he would only shoot out blue lightning, which I guess it's kind of like flames going into lightning, I guess, but the effects look incredible. So they come from this base, which this base is a blue translucent base, which is what I wish they would have done with Kyoshi. If they would have given Kyoshi this base to match her, I think that would have been perfect. It's not really coming out too well on camera, but Iroh's base is a translucent blue that matches this fire or lightning effects right here. And I think this might be the first time we've seen a different colored base before, correct me if I'm wrong, but the effects just look incredible. They wrap all around him and they're done, like I said, in translucent blue. They don't glow or anything, but they just look amazing. And then Uncle Iroh, I mean, we pretty much know what to expect from him. Nothing too different from what we've seen with the past Irohs. Now, one thing that does kind of bug me is you can see right here along the beard and as well as his entire hairline, they didn't fully paint all the way up to that line. So you can see I kind of have a little skin tone line that goes all the way around, and that is really, really bothersome. It's around the entire hair section, and it really does bug me. That's not really something that not going to be able to ignore when I see it on the shelf. It really stands out, and it doesn't look great. They just missed the paint, just on mine specifically. I don't think all of them are going to be like this, but you do have this forehead region with the wrinkles. That's not sculpted in like King Bumi's is. This is just like a painted on there, so no sculpted work on there, but you have the bags under the eyes as well, and the details on here are really great. Like I said, I just wish they would have met the mark with that paint right there. That is just very, very bothersome. But other than that, everything looks great, and really, really happy to have another Iroh, and this time actually doing some proper bending, where the other one, I think he was just drinking tea, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, you guys, so there's my review of Wave 3 of the brand new Avatar The Last Airbender Funko Pops. Honestly, I really, really love this wave. There's a lot of variety, a lot of different characters in this wave, and some really, really cool effects that we haven't seen in the past waves. Now, I did say I was going to go ahead and rank these from my favorite to least favorite in this set, and this is really tough. I think I'm going to say my favorite is honestly Kyoshi. I think she looks amazing, and the glow in the dark and the different variations of glow that she has, different shades of glowing, I think is just a really, really nice touch. So I think my favorite is going to be Kyoshi. Now, she is an Entertainment Earth exclusive, so she may be a little harder to find and a little bit more pricey, but I think she is definitely worth it. And in second place, I think I'm going to put Momo in second place. Samurai Momo or Ninja Momo, whatever you want to call him. I really love this figure. I think he looks great. I think the colors really work on him. So I'm going to put Momo in second place. Now in third place, man, this is really tough for me. I think I'm going to put King Bumi in third place. I really like how he looks. He looks great. The colors on him really pop as well. I don't know, my gripes with it being a deluxe figure doesn't change the fact that I love the figure itself. That's more of a marketing and pricing issue, but the actual figure itself, I really love that King Bumi figure. I love the inclusion of the base and his whole new outfit that he has compared to the previous version that we have. So I think I'm going to go King Bumi. And then after that, I think I'm going to go with Samurai Appa here. Just a massive figure, a great callback to Momo. The only reason he's not higher up is just no fault of his own, but his outfit is just very boring and bland. But I do love the size of him. The detail on him is great. I don't really love the facial expression all that much, so that's why I'm just going to put him 2 slots under Momo. Still a great figure. I'm happy to have it. And then moving on from there, I think I'm going to go with Uncle Iroh. I really like Uncle Iroh. Unfortunately, I have that beard issue that I said with my figure, but I don't think they're all going to be like that. But it's honestly the fire/lightning effects for Iroh that really set him apart from the rest of the figures in this wave, and having the base that actually matches that looks really, really cool. So just based off of those effects alone is going to give Iroh the little bit extra bump. And then after that, I think I'm going to go with Azula. She really surprised me with how heavy she was of a figure. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of these lightning effects. They look okay for what they are. And I did forget to mention her nice little red nail polish that she has. But other than that, it's kind of a pretty basic figure. Like I said, it just did surprise me with how heavy she actually was because of how crazy her hair is. But other than that, like, she's not my favorite. And then obviously in last place, I'm going to have to put Aang. And that hurts me to do that because I love Aang. But this is so similar to the air scooter Aang that we've gotten before, just in a little bit of a different pose with a different air effect. It's too similar for me to rank it any higher than last place because we've already had something similar to it. That being said, I am happy to have all of these figures, and just because I ranked one lower than the other doesn't mean that I don't love any of them. They are all amazing. If you are an Avatar fan, you definitely need to pick up all of these figures because they are all individually amazing. And that's going to do it. And like I said, I still got 2 more on the way. I have the glow-in-the-dark version coming of Aang, and then I also have Sokka from Hot Topic and his warrior attire, so stay tuned for a review on those. But that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Stay tuned for more, and as always, I'll see you guys next time.